Let's finish the quilt that we started. Hi, this is Angie from Cutting Edge Quilter, and today we're going to finish up the quilt that we started. We're going to actually do some quilting on it, and then we'll finish up the binding, and it should be done. So stay tuned to the end, and I will show you my completed quilt. And I'd love for you to let me know if you've completed a quilt in this series on how to make an easy quilt for busy people. Now that the quilt top is done, we have to go ahead and quilt it. So what I have here is I have my layers. I'll put this aside here. This is the quilt top. This is the batting. You need to make your batting a few inches bigger than the quilt top all around because you're going to use that to kind of hold while you are quilting it on the machine. And then also here's your backing, and you want to make that a few inches larger as well to hold that while you are machine quilting it, and you want to make it bigger all the way around, not just on one side, so, or not just the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and quilt this. It shouldn't take too long since it's just a little baby quilt, and then I'll show you how I quilt it. Before we quilt it, what we need to do is baste it. And for this small project, I do have a long arm, but I'm not going to use my long arm. I'm going to show you how to do it on the regular sewing machine. So what I have are these pins, and if you notice, these pins are they're not straight, they're crooked, and that is so you can get them in all the layers. And I'm going to go ahead and do one. You can do several of them. And you just want to make sure they're about a hand width apart. So if I'm going to do one here, I'll do another one around this area. And it's easy. The reason why they're crooked, it's easier to get them into the layers. If they were straight, it would be a harder time to get those through the layers and up to where you need, so you can close it. So I got one done. And I'll do a few around. I'm not going to do too many because with a small quilt like this, it shouldn't take too many to get those done. You can also spray baste these. I usually don't because I have a small work area and I'd have to take it outside, and it's just too much. So, and with the long arm that I have, you don't have to really baste with the long arm. You just put those onto the long arm, and you roll each layer separately, so that's the reason why you don't have to base on the long arm. I do try to get the sides, make sure I get the sides, and because if you don't, sometimes it kind of goes like this whenever you're trying to quilt it. So you want to make sure you get your sides. What I usually do is I try to baste in the middle, and you're smoothing it out as you go. So you baste in the middle and then go to your sides. So that way it'll be nice and smooth. And as you go to, especially the smaller quilts, you want to double check that everything on the back, there's no puckers or anything like that before you quilt. So to quilt this, what I did, I put my walking foot on there. This is to help push things along on the bottom and the top, and to where it has even stitches. I'm also putting my guard on here. What this will do is I don't have to put lines. I don't like putting lines on my fabric, even if it's a fabric pin that will go away, that disappears, just because it's kind of hard to get out, and then sometimes when you wash them and dry them, they come back. It kind of depends on what you use. So I'm just going to use my lines through here, and I probably will make try to get like maybe a I don't know, maybe one inch, something like that, line from there to there. because all I need to do, I'm going to make lines that go diagonal this way and then another set that goes diagonal this way. So that's what I'm going to use, and yeah, we'll just go ahead and get that done and get it quilted. So I made 4 strips for my binding. I'll just use this. This is my binding as well. And what I'm going to do is sew these together to make the one long strip. So I will open these up and then do right sides together. And I'll probably do a little bit, you know, to where I can cut the selvage off. And then once I sew them, I'll sew them diagonally like this, and then they will look like this when I'm done, and then we'll iron them. So what I'm going to do is my easy binding, and what that consists of is I'm going to start sewing, like give it a few inches and start sewing here and go all the way around to the other and back on this side, and then I'll show you how my binding, how I do my binding. But for now, I'm just going to kind of show you how I'm going to do the corners, which I have a video that I'll link above that shows you how I do my binding. But what I do is I stop about a 1/4 inch. I stop about a 1/4 inch from the edge, and then I go just sew on the diagonal, and then I clip my threads, and then you just put this up like this, kind of at a 45-degree angle. It's a lot easier whenever you have your have that sewn, and then you go down like that. And you want to make sure that that is straight across. That one not straight, sorry, I'm not at my regular angle here to do this. And then what I do is I start sewing at that 45-degree angle. I start sewing right up there, kind of butt up to that, and I start sewing down. And I usually do a back stitch at every corner, so that way they are nice and secure. And then I'll go all the way around it. I'll show you how I finish that up. So what I like to do on my binding, which is just a simple way to do binding, a little bit different than what the other people do, what everybody else does, because I just find it easier to get in my brain. I have this long tail, that's what's left of my binding strip, and I'll just cut that off to make it a little easier for me. I just put these two together, and I will just get a little pin, and just so I know where to sew, because you're going to sew at the bottom, at the base of these two. So whenever I sew, it'll just be straight across there, and then I'll show you what I do after I get that done. Okay, now that I've sewn straight across right there, I'll just kind of put this tight here to where, you know, it's nice and flat. And what I will do is cut off at an angle. So I'm going to go up like this, just this angle, cut off, oh, just a little bit. It doesn't really matter on that. And then I will make this tight here. I will go ahead and just kind of press this down with my fingers, open that up, press it down with my fingers, and I'm going to continue sewing from here all the way here. Whenever you're putting your binding over, you'll want to, when you put it over to the front, you'll want to kind of tuck this top in, and to where it won't just have little pointed edges sticking out. So I'm gonna press this so it's easier to maneuver whenever I am ironing all of this, or I'm sorry, whenever I'm folding this over so I can sew the front of the binding. So I'm going to go ahead and sew right along this line, and I'm going to bring this over. What I like to do when I bring this over is I like to iron right here to make it nice and crisp, and then when I bring it over, I'll just do a stitch on the top here, and it just makes it look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and be right back. Alright, that's it. So we have got the quilting done. We've got the binding on. The quilt is ready to go, and I will go ahead and show you mine. It's a small little baby quilt. Mine measures about 36 by 37 inches. And I'm going to call mine Strawberry Pie because it kind of looks like a strawberry pie, with that being the lattice of the pie and then the strawberry filling inside. So this is mine. And I would love for you to let me know if you completed a quilt on your own, if you found this to be helpful, if you would like more of these videos. Definitely let me know in the comments below. What I will probably do with mine is, I know it's beginning to get, it's almost winter time, and so I thought I would go ahead and donate this to the foster children in my area, and hopefully it'll keep a baby warm or a child. The backing, what I used was some really almost like a flannel backing, so I think that would be able to keep a baby warm during the winter time and be all snuggly. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and there's my quilt. So thank you so much for watching this series on how to make an easy quilt for busy people. Like I was saying before, I do work outside of the home 40 hours a week, so it's a little bit difficult for me to come up and just quilt. But what I have found out is if I just come at it in like portions and just a small amount of time, it doesn't take that long to get it done. And sometimes I find myself sewing later than I really, I'm at 15 minutes. So what I probably will do is just set myself a timer for 15 minutes and just do as much as I can during that time, because I also, had to make supper and everything for the family. So so that's my plan, yeah, and just get as much done as I can in 15 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this series, and if you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I have a few really neat things planned coming up. I hope you stick around for that. So thanks for watching. Happy quilting.